The psychology of Messi begins quietly, the same way he moves on the field. Not with noise, not with declarations, not with theatrical presence, but with a softness that hides a storm of precision underneath. His personality is not loud, yet his impact is deafening. His psychology is not chaotic, yet his effect on the world feels seismic. He is one of the rare figures whose greatness is not rooted in dominance but in humility, not in intimidation but in instinct, not in ego but in devotion to the craft so pure that it becomes spiritual. With Messi, you do not see a man trying to show you he is the best. You see a man trying to honor the game that raised him. His mind is shaped by silence, an inner silence that the world mistakes for shyness, but which is actually focus. Messi is not detached, he is tuned inward. His psychology is built around internal calibration, around a deep, almost fragile sensitivity to movement, timing, and space. Some people think by talking, some by debating, some by strategizing. Messi thinks by feeling. His brain communicates with his body more fluently than words ever could. That is why, when others panic under pressure, he enters a deeper stillness. A stillness that lets him see the next 3 steps of a play while everyone else is still processing the last one. This stillness is not passive. It is alive. It observes everything. Angles, opponent posture, weight shifts, micro openings in the defense. To the outside world, Messi looks slow, static, almost uninterested when off the ball. But internally, he is computing, reading, studying, storing patterns, waiting for the exact moment the game reveals a flaw. This is a mind designed to conserve energy for the perfect moment, a mind that sees football not as chaos, but as a map. A map he learned to read before he ever learned to read words. This type of cognition creates a unique emotional relationship with competition. Messi does not compete the way most elite athletes do. He isn't fueled by rivalry or hostility. He does not need to conquer opponents psychologically. His motivation is not external. It is internal, almost artistic. He competes the way a pianist plays, not to defeat someone, but to express something that lives inside him. This is why he seems unbothered by criticism, pressure, narratives, debates. His psychology filters out emotional noise. He plays for the game, not the commentary. But beneath the calm exterior lies the one thing that defines Messi more than talent: the psychology of smallness. Not weakness, smallness. Growing up physically small in a world that worships size forces the mind to build alternative forms of power. When you cannot overpower opponents, you must outthink them. When you cannot outrun them, you must outmaneuver them. When your body cannot intimidate, your intelligence must illuminate. Messi's greatness is the result of compensatory brilliance, the mind adapting to a body that refused to grow. His psychology was forged through the vulnerability of being overlooked, doubted, pushed aside. This creates either insecurity or internal fire. With Messi, it created fire, a quiet fire, the kind that burns steadily without screaming for attention. The kind that turns limitations into precision, fragility into agility, doubt into devotion. He learned to survive not through force, but through finesse. Not through dominance, but through clarity. Not through aggression, but through balance. This background shaped his emotional radar. People who grow up small, sick, or physically disadvantaged develop a deep sensitivity to energy, tension, and danger. They learn to read the room before entering it. They learn to detect shifts before they happen. Messi's football intelligence is rooted in this protective sensitivity, the subtle survival skill of anticipating what others do not see. It is psychological awareness transformed into athletic expression. The absence of ego is not accidental either. When you grow up fighting for a chance, not assuming you deserve one, you develop a relationship with humility that becomes inseparable from your identity. Messi carries the psychology of someone who still remembers what it felt like to be the kid no one believed in. Fame never rewired him because his emotional foundation was built long before the fame came. He does not need to assert himself because his entire life taught him that you only speak loudly when you cannot act loudly. His silence is not emptiness, it is intention. In high-pressure moments, Messi's psychology enters what psychologists call the effortless mode, but his is a rare version, not emotional detachment, but emotional absorption. He does not escape the moment. He becomes it. This is why his dribbling looks liquid. His nervous system moves without interference from doubt. His brain does not overthink mechanics. The mechanics have become instinct. His thoughts do not interfere with motion. Motion has become thought. Messi plays through a state where consciousness and action merge seamlessly, a state even elite athletes struggle to enter consistently. But even this supernatural composure sits on top of deep emotional wiring. Messi feels deeply, painfully, intensely, silently. His loyalty to Barcelona, his devotion to Argentina despite national criticism, his tears after losses, his softness with family, these are signs of someone emotionally porous. Fame did not harden him. It illuminated his vulnerability, and that vulnerability fuels his consistency. He does not want to disappoint, not because of pride, but because he loves too silently, too deeply, too much. The psychology of loyalty is often misunderstood. For Messi, loyalty is not blind attachment. It is gratitude molded into identity. Barcelona rescued him from a future shrinking under medical limitations. That kind of rescue wires itself into your emotional DNA. Argentina shaped his earliest dreams. No country wounds its heroes deeper, and yet no country he loves more. When he plays, he carries the weight, not of expectation, but of repayment. His psychology is built around giving back, not proving himself, but honoring the people who believed in him. And when loyalty becomes a psychological anchor, leaving becomes a form of heartbreak. His departure from Barcelona wasn't a professional decision. It was a psychological fracture. Messi is not someone who thrives on change. He thrives on roots, familiarity, emotional safety. For a man who internalizes deeply, displacement feels like a wound. But even through heartbreak, his psychology responds not through rage, but adaptation. Messi adjusts quietly, suffers quietly, heals quietly, and continues. Because the mission does not end where the comfort ends. Then there is the duality, the gentle man and the ruthless player. Off the field, he is soft-spoken, almost introverted, a man who prefers home to spotlight. On the field, he becomes someone entirely different, sharp, decisive, predatory, surgical. This duality is not contradiction, it is compartmentalization. People who grow up emotionally sensitive learn to create mental rooms. Messi built one room for the world and another for the game. In the world, he shrinks himself to avoid noise. On the field, he expands himself because the ball amplifies every part of him he never expresses verbally. This is why the transformation looks magical. It is not magic, it is psychological liberation. Football is the only space where Messi allows his full self to exist. The field becomes the only place he is not shy, not silent, not hesitant. It is where he becomes the truest version of himself. Expressive, fearless, unapologetic. And this is why retirement will be psychologically far more difficult for him than for most athletes. He is not just losing the game, he is losing the language of his soul. And yet the calm demeanor hides a competitiveness that is ruthless. Messi does not taunt. He annihilates quietly. He does not provoke. He dismantles. This is a man who hates losing not because it scars his ego, but because it disrupts the natural order he feels inside when he plays. His psychology seeks harmony, and losing disrupts that harmony. When Messi dominates a game, he is not trying to prove anything. He is restoring the balance between his mind and the pitch. Winning is not validation, it is alignment. This is why he rarely celebrates loudly. His joy is internal. His satisfaction is private. His victories are personal. He does not want the world's applause. He wants the world to feel the beauty of the game the way he feels it. This is not the psychology of a superstar. It is the psychology of an artist.